They're barely opening the door. They're making it so we don't see him.
I'm totally recording that, by the way.
5 more minutes. Yep.
Something that, like, interview guys get, which makes it worse.
Or
you know,
like
Siri all at once. He gave the cut sign.
It's only like 5 minutes. Of course he's going. And this is his first date. So
My phone essentially has a...
All right, Wizard World Raleigh Comic Con! The TARDIS has landed! You are... No, those cheers are not really what I expected. Let me adjust the frequency here. Raleigh Comic Con, are you excited for me to bring this up? Let me see the sonic screwdrivers. Get a good sonic screwdriver salute. I love it. I love you, Raleigh. All right. Without further ado, and actually one further ado, we have this line right here. I'm going to kindly ask you guys, keep it to 1 question per person. Let's make it an actual question, nice and brief, so we can get through as many people as possible. Remember, when you ask more than 1 question, you're taking a question away from the person in the back of the line. Also, after this panel, Mr. Tennant's heading back. He's going to do photo ops beginning at noon. That's the final photo ops, and that is for him. And we're going to do VIP and then general admission for the photo ops. So make certain to scoot on over there and get your photo ops after this. All right. You know this man from Grace Point and Broadchurch. You know this man from Hamlet. You know this man from the How to Train Your Dragon audiobooks. You know this man from House Slytherin in the Harry Potter series. And you will know this man in Netflix's Marvel, aka Jessica Jones. But really, you know this man all the way from Gallifrey. Wizard World Raleigh, put your hearts into it and give us a nice warm welcome for Mr. David Tennant. It's a good crowd. It's an excited crowd today. Dave, let me say, like, because you know, this whole fan event is this scene is new to you. You liking it? You digging it?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, no, it's been amazing. It's been overwhelming, really.
Yeah.
I've never been to North Carolina before. It's all like this.
Are you guys pretty happy that he's doing these fan events? Would you like him to do some more?
Okay, I'll think about it.
Go to St. Louis!
It's hard.
What?
Go to St. Louis!
St. Louis? Okay.
That's where we're
You're
from!
just gonna start shouting cities.
Just start shouting, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue with screaming crowds, isn't it? Let's actually jump right into the questions so we can get through as many as possible. Yes, sir, with the cell phone.
Hi.
You look great. You did.
Oh, are you switched on?
Oh, no question for you. Get out of here. That'd be such a cruel joke. I think we're gonna get that mic on momentarily.
Doesn't he?
You know, I did it for you. I was really hoping you noticed today.
Thank you, it's beautiful.
So, oh. No, Mike.
Okay.
All right, I'll start with a question.
Fine. I was going to start dancing, so it's just as well.
Yeah. Actually, you know, Doctor Who has never been as big in America as it is now, as it has been in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It is massive.
Yeah.
Massive here. Talk a little bit about the American fan base based on what you've seen. What makes it different? What makes it unique? And how do you think that that overall has contributed to the modern sort of success of Doctor Who?
Well, it's certainly changed, even since I was in Doctor Who, and you know, because I would visit America fairly regularly, I guess, and there was always, you would always get a bit of attention. There would always be people who knew the show, and like once a day somebody might come up to you, and really over the years, and even since I stopped being in Doctor Who, it seems to have exponentially sort of exploded. So now, when I come to America, it's like being at home. It seems to have that reach now, and that sort of ubiquity, which is not something I never thought would happen. We were always sort of told growing up that Doctor Who was big in the UK, but it didn't really travel. It was so English, so British, so sort of peculiarly of our country that the rest of the world didn't get it. Turns out that's not true. And it's everywhere now, yeah, wherever I go. I think, you know, once something's on Netflix, it's everywhere. That seems to be the key.
I was going to say, it's apropos that you're heading to Netflix to do Jessica Jones, because Netflix has
that's where it's at.
That is where it's at. Yeah. All right, I think we're ready to go with this question.
Hi, David.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hopefully you got something good to eat in Raleigh.
I did. I had a very lovely breakfast. I won't give you details.
I know. Let's just suffice to say
Too intimate and frankly dull. But unless that's your question, in which case I will consider my answer.
What's your diet been like since you've been in Raleigh? I think you can eat enough calories. You get enough nutritional value.
So yeah. Let's not dwell on this.
Yes.
My question's really about the episode Midnight.
Right.
And how was that like? Was it creepy? How was it?
Well, what was peculiar about that is that it was a bit like doing a stage play, and it could be a stage play. In fact, I think someone's done it as a stage play, I heard. Because it all takes place in one location, really, once you're on that bus.
Right.
And there's very sort of clever devices, like the windows have to be closed because the light would do something, I can't remember. All of which means you've got this very contained, it's a very cheap episode, one might say.
Right.
Because it's just a bunch of actors in a room. But of course, from an acting point of view, that's fantastic. It's great to play those scenes, and it got very intense. We would rehearse long 10, 20 minute sections and play them as a play, you know, and it was a fantastic cast. I remember there was a lot of great, you know, Leslie Sharp, fantastic actress, and all sorts of David Troughton, of course. And I do remember thinking, who's that kid over there? This new boy that they'd found, who was being sort of amazing in the corner. Of course, 5 minutes later, he's playing Merlin, and that's Colin Morgan. But Andy Pryor, our casting director, was always very good at finding. Well, I mean, look, we had, when I was in Doctor Who, we had Andrew Garfield, Felicity Jones, Kerry Mulligan, and they were all sort of brand new then. So Colin was another one who was just doing these extraordinary, making these brilliant choices. So all that going on in this one room with this bananas creepy script, which was again unlike anything else. Really, it was a real. One of my favourites, actually, to this day. I think it's got something so creepy. And the fact that you never really find out what it is either. It's left all quite open-ended. It was a good one to do. And a script that came in at the very last minute. We were supposed to be doing another script, and Russell T. Davis, in case you didn't know, was just sort of. I think he just kind of. I'm not sure about this script. I'm going to take the weekend and see if I can come up with something better. And he sat down and wrote that script in 48 hours, and it's one of the best ones we did.
Nice. Hopefully when someone repeats something that you said, it doesn't creep you out anymore.
It will always creep me out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hi.
I was wondering what the biggest difference between the UK and the US is when you're over here, like what do you think the biggest change is?
Your bacon is very different.
Better.
What is bacon here? It's like this weird little strips of kind of grizzled Carbonated stuff.
Do not impugn our bacon, sir. This is where I'm talking about.
Those are fighting
You want
words.
to get some of our bacon. Well, it's
Not
more
good.
like your ham. It's halfway between your
Canadian
bacon and your
bacon.
ham.
Yeah.
It's thicker than
Lies
Canadian.
our bacon. And I would urge you to try it. So that's different. You have different accents here. I don't know, what's different? I mean, I think, well, it's, you know.
I think you hit the two main ones.
Principally, it's the bacon and the accent. I don't think there's anything else. You have a different president, we have a prime minister. I think that's it. I think we've covered all of social history there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I bet you feel informed now.
We are learning things here
Yeah.
today. It's a cultural conversation. Hi there.
Hi. I was just wondering, what was it like for you the first time that you met the Proclaimers?
Oh, it was very exciting. It was very exciting. But like all these things, when you should, well, I mean, it's still, I've met them a few times now, but I'm still rather tongue-tied. It's like anything, when you grow up with someone and you're kind of in awe of someone. I recently did a film with Billy Connolly, who growing up in Scotland, Billy Connolly's the king. He's the unofficial king of Scotland. He's much more important than the actual Queen of Scotland. Much more important. So when I suddenly found myself on a film set with someone like him, it was a week before I could look him in the eye. And it was a bit the same with the Proclaimers, but in both cases actually, they turn out to be exactly what you would want them to be. There's always a fear of meeting one's heroes, one's idols, that they will have feet of clay, as it were, that they'll disappoint. But in both those cases, they were they so thoroughly lived up to what I wanted them to be that it was very exciting. And you know, the Proclaimers, I mean, they're lovely boys.
Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hello. I just want to first say that I think you're brilliant and that you're my doctor.
Oh, thank you very much.
And my question is, you know, as normal people, you dream about high school and jobs and stuff. Do you still, every once in a while, when you're dreaming, like in bed snoring, dream that you're still the doctor or anything?
This is very intimate, kind of weird, very intriguing as well, so I'm curious. Yeah.
When I'm in bed snoring, I snore. Are you working in the hotel? Were you in my closet last night? Do I need to call security? I don't think I've dreamt about being the doctor since I was. But then you don't stop being the doctor, do you? It's like... It's like being president of the United States. You still get called Mr. President as long as you live. And I still get called doctor everywhere I go, but that's fine by me.
Well, there you go. Although, no weird dreams, sorry.
Just living it.
Mr. Tennant, thank you so
Please
much.
call me David.
In the South, we always say Mr.
I know, but it makes me feel like I've done something wrong.
All right, David, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks
we
for having
appreciate
me.
that. And I want to briefly ask you, I saw you in Recovery, and that was some of the best acting I have seen in my life. And I want to ask you, how did you prepare for that role? It was so emotionally wrenching.
Well, Recovery, for anyone who hasn't seen it, which is probably most of you, it was a TV film made by the BBC about someone who's suffering from a brain injury. I prepared for it by meeting people who'd gone through that, really, and by meeting people that their families and people who work with them, and carers and charity workers, and you just meet people and you talk to people, and you rely, of course, very heavily on the script, which is beautifully written by Tony Marsh, and you just hope that you can do that justice, really. You know, obviously when you're doing something like that, you have to be respectful of the fact, and you have to make sure you know what you're trying to achieve, but then you also have to take the leap into the fiction of the script as well.
It had to be emotionally draining.
Well, I guess if you know, telling stories like that should be to an extent.